Good afternoon. Today on 8 to 9 Minutes, we will be discussing women's rights oppression in Saudi Arabia. This issue is highly controversial and covers topics like domestic abuse, transportation rights, and systemic male guardianship. And now, through a visual timeline, we are going to explore the history of the oppression of women's rights in Saudi Arabia.
Islamic law, also known as Sharia law, outlines the codes and ethics of Saudi Arabia. Sharia traces back to 700 CE and has since then dictated the overall Islamic way of life. Sharia law and Islamic culture use a male guardianship system at the base of it, which enforces serious level of discrimination towards women in comparison to the United States. Because of this, many basic rights that are available to men are not available to women. In 1955, the first school opened for girls. Girls in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia were not permitted to go to school before then. In 1955, 30 girls were enrolled at Dar al-Hana School in Jeddah. In 1970, higher education was established for women. The Riyadh College of Education was the first higher education institution for women, founded in 1970. It was later renamed Princess Noura bint Abdulrahman University. 2001 marked the year that women could attain personal identification cards for the first time. The cards are the only way to prove their identity, essentially when it comes to legal disputes regarding property issues or inheritance. In 2005, Saudi Arabia banned forced marriages. However, traditionally, marriage contracts continue to remain only between the father of the bride and the prospective groom. In 2009, the first female government minister was sworn in. King Abdullah swore in the first 30 women to Saudi Arabia's Shura Council in February 2013. This allowed women to be appointed to government positions, giving them the opportunity to run for office. In 2013, domestic abuse was criminalized. On August 23, 2013, Council of Ministers broke new ground criminalizing domestic abuse. However, there was no enforcement mechanism set in place to ensure that the behavior was punished. Without any organization to police the law, it is essentially ink on paper with no superior power. In 2015, women could vote and run for office. Saudi Arabia's municipal elections in 2015 allowed women to vote and run for office for the first time. In the kingdom's 2015 polls, 20 Saudi women were elected to municipal positions in the absolute monarchy. In June of 2018, women were allowed to drive. It was announced in September 2017 that women would be granted the permission to drive. And in June 2018, the women of the kingdom celebrated their new driver's licenses and freedom. They could now drive without the permission or presence of a male guardian. Back to Paul to present the current rights that Saudi Arabian women have.
Women are required to obtain male guardian permission to travel abroad or file for a Saudi passport. If a guardian chooses to, he can deny her access to ever leave the country. Women require male guardian permission to get married. However, men can have 4 wives at once if they agree to treat them equally, according to Sharia law. Women require male guardian permission and agreement in order for them to leave prison. This basically means that the male guardian can choose to keep her in prison if he refuses to grant her permission. Women face inequalities in divorce, responsibility for children, and inheritance. In 2019, they are only able to file for divorce in very specific instances. Meanwhile, men can divorce them at any time, and they don't even have to notify them that they have divorced them. Women are left in the dark so much to the point that women are forced to check their marital status online. Employers can require male guardian permission for women to work. Because of this, the male can legally deny her a job. Also, employers are allowed to require guardian signature for employment. Women who attempt to leave abusive guardians can be arrested, returned to their families, or face charges of disobedience. Now, Connor's going to talk about what Uber's doing in Saudi Arabia regarding women's rights.
Thank you, Paul. Uber has launched a new feature for female drivers in Saudi Arabia, which lets them block male passengers from calling their ride. The new Woman Preferred View feature came into force in April after a 2018 Uber survey in Saudi Arabia found 74% of female drivers wouldn't take male passengers. In the 2018 survey, 31% of women said they were interested in driving an Uber as a career. The ride-calling app said, Uber, Middle East, and North Africa told Business Insider on Tuesday, quote, "We launched this feature in response to the feedback we received from women drivers in Saudi Arabia, and we are committed to always being thoughtful of how we can always improve their experience driving on the app, while being conscious of local cultural norms, to leverage our external research as we move forward to ensure that this is in the best interest of women drivers."
To all the women in Saudi Arabia, my heart is full of joy for you. Congratulations.
おめでとうございます。
مرحبا.
Congratulations. Siana Mugela.
恭喜恭喜.
Welcome.
स्वागत है.
Congratulations.
مبروك.
Parabéns, mulheres.
Felicidades y bienvenida.
Mi consejo para las mujeres de Arabia Saudita es que tomen el volante.
احنا بدأنا المشوار وبقرار 10/10 انتوا هتكملوه وهنثبت للوطن العربي كله ان مفيش فرق بين الراجل والست.
يوم 10/10.
بحب أقول لكل نساء السعودية اللي بدها تسوق خليكي قوية وسوقي بأمان.
لحظة تاريخية.
Go power women. We can do it.
It is really amazing what Uber is doing in this country. Now, here are some more tips for doing business in Saudi Arabia. The percentage of women in the Saudi Arabian workforce has increased from 16% in 1995 to 20% in 2015. While still among the lowest female workforce percentages, the opportunities for women in Saudi Arabian business are steadily increasing. Direct marketing is not widely used or appreciated in Saudi Arabian business. The development of personal relationships between vendors and customers is much more important. Because of this, business dealings will typically take much longer to be finalized compared to in the United States. Over time, Saudi Arabian businessmen may come to acknowledge and listen to a woman representative. By remaining cognizant of Sharia law and traditions, a woman representative can slowly make progress in Saudi Arabian business.